A sudden backstage incident at Disneyland Park sent several employees to the hospital and triggered a major emergency response, briefly disrupting operations at the iconic theme park. Known as the happiest place on earth, the park rarely experiences such emergencies, making the event particularly alarming for staff and fans alike. The incident occurred in a restricted backstage area near the popular attraction Star Tours, The Adventures Continue, located in the Tomorrowland section of the park. According to authorities, several employees reported a strange and powerful odor while working behind the scenes. Soon afterward, multiple cast members began feeling dizzy and nauseated, prompting an immediate call for medical assistance. Emergency crews quickly arrived to assess the situation and ensure the safety of everyone on the property. Although the event caused concern, officials confirmed that the exposure was contained to a limited area and did not affect park guests. A routine day turns into an emergency. Theme parks like Disneyland Park operate with thousands of employees working in both guest-facing and backstage roles. On the day of the incident, workers were performing routine tasks when the unexpected smell began spreading through a service area. Several cast members reportedly complained of symptoms including dizziness, headaches, shortness of breath, nausea. Within minutes, supervisors recognized that the situation could involve a hazardous substance and contacted local emergency services. The rapid escalation from a simple odor complaint to a medical emergency highlighted how quickly workplace incidents can develop in large operational environments like theme parks. Emergency crews respond rapidly. Firefighters, paramedics, and hazardous materials specialists from Anaheim Emergency Services arrived quickly at the park. Their first priority was assessing the health of employees who had been exposed to the odor. Several workers were evaluated at the scene by paramedics. However, a number of them were transported to nearby hospitals for further medical monitoring. In total, about 7 cast members were hospitalized following the incident. Authorities later said the workers' conditions were not believed to be life-threatening, and the hospital visits were largely precautionary. Hazmat teams also began testing the air in the area to determine whether dangerous chemicals were present. Investigation points to chemical reaction. Initial investigations suggested that the odor was caused by building materials used by a contractor performing maintenance work backstage. Officials believe that the materials produced a chemical reaction that released fumes into the air. Workers in the immediate vicinity inhaled the fumes before the issue could be identified. Because the incident occurred in a restricted service area, the exposure was limited to employees rather than park visitors. Safety teams quickly secured the area while investigators evaluated the materials involved and ensured that the fumes had dissipated. Guest areas remain safe. Although the situation occurred within the park grounds, officials confirmed that guests were not exposed to the odor or chemicals involved. The affected area was located entirely behind the scenes in an operational zone not accessible to visitors. As a precaution, nearby attractions were temporarily paused while emergency responders completed their investigation. After testing confirmed that the air quality was safe, operations resumed and visitors were able to continue enjoying the park. For many guests, the incident went largely unnoticed aside from the presence of emergency vehicles entering the park. Understanding Disneyland's backstage areas. Many visitors may not realize that theme parks operate with extensive backstage infrastructure hidden from public view. At Disneyland Park, the park is divided into 2 main operational zones. On-stage areas. These are the sections guests experience: rides, shows, restaurants, and themed lands. Backstage areas. These restricted zones are used for maintenance, storage, employee facilities, and operational support. Backstage areas allow Disney employees to maintain the park's immersive environment while performing necessary work out of sight. The incident occurred entirely within one of these operational spaces. Tomorrowland's busy environment. The backstage area involved in the incident sits near Tomorrowland, one of the park's most recognizable themed lands. Tomorrowland features futuristic attractions and has been part of the park since its opening in 1955. The land draws large crowds thanks to its high-profile rides and science fiction themes. Among its well-known attractions is Star Tours, The Adventures Continue, a motion simulator ride inspired by the legendary film franchise created by George Lucas. The ride remains a major draw for visitors and is one of the most recognizable attractions in the area. Fortunately, the incident did not occur in the guest portion of Tomorrowland and did not impact visitors enjoying the ride. Disney's unique employee culture. Employees at Disney parks are known as cast members, reflecting the company's theatrical approach to entertainment. The idea is that every employee contributes to the overall story being presented to guests. Cast members include workers in roles such as ride operators, maintenance technicians, performers and character actors, restaurant staff, custodial teams, park management. The workers affected by the chemical odor were reportedly employees performing operational duties backstage. Although the term cast member emphasizes storytelling and showmanship, the employees are also trained to handle safety situations and emergency procedures. Safety protocols in theme parks. Major theme parks operate under strict safety regulations and emergency planning systems. Facilities like Disneyland Park maintain extensive emergency preparedness programs that include on-site medical teams, coordination with local police and fire departments, evacuation procedures, hazardous materials response plans. Employees are trained to quickly report unusual conditions such as strange odors, smoke, or equipment malfunctions. In this case, the rapid reporting of the odor allowed emergency responders to arrive quickly and limit potential exposure. Why hazmat teams were called? Because the source of the odor was initially unknown, hazmat specialists were called in to investigate. Hazardous materials teams are trained to handle situations involving potentially dangerous chemicals or airborne contaminants. Their responsibilities include identifying the substance involved, measuring air quality, determining exposure levels, ensuring the environment is safe before reopening. In the Disneyland incident, hazmat teams concluded that the fumes came from a limited chemical reaction rather than a large-scale hazardous spill. A rare situation for the park. Incidents requiring hospital treatment are uncommon at Disneyland Park, which welcomes millions of visitors every year. Most safety incidents at theme parks involve ride stoppages, weather disruptions, or guest medical emergencies rather than workplace chemical exposures. Because of this, the hazmat response drew significant attention from both media outlets and Disney fans online. However, officials emphasized that the quick response helped prevent the situation from becoming more serious. Disneyland's long history. Opened in 1955 by Walt Disney, Disneyland Park became the first theme park of its kind and remains one of the most famous entertainment destinations in the world. Over the decades, the park has expanded into a massive resort complex that includes multiple theme parks, hotels, shopping and dining districts. The park's reputation for safety and organization has been a major factor in its continued success. Events like the Backstage chemical incident are rare but demonstrate the importance of maintaining strong safety procedures in such a large operation. Workers recovering after the incident. Authorities have not released the identities of the employees involved, but officials confirmed that the hospitalized workers were being monitored and treated for symptoms related to chemical exposure. Because the injuries were considered minor, it is expected that the workers will recover fully. Investigators are continuing to review the situation to determine exactly which materials triggered the chemical reaction and whether additional safety measures are needed. Lessons learned. The incident serves as a reminder that even highly organized environments like theme parks must remain vigilant about workplace safety. Maintenance and construction activities are common at large attractions as operators continually upgrade rides and infrastructure. When chemicals, adhesives, or building materials are involved, strict safety procedures must be followed to prevent unexpected reactions. Experts say the key lessons from the incident include proper chemical handling protocols, clear communication between contractors and park staff, rapid reporting of unusual conditions, strong emergency response coordination. The magic continues. Despite the temporary disruption, the magic of Disneyland Park quickly returned once the situation was resolved. Guests continued to enjoy attractions, shows, and entertainment while emergency teams completed their investigation behind the scenes. For many visitors, the park experience remained largely unaffected. The incident may have briefly interrupted the day for some employees, but it also demonstrated how prepared the park and local emergency responders are to handle unexpected challenges.